What did you just grab? What is that? It sounds like some bootleg.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured I needed a shot.
Oh,
yes.
a shot of
Bibs
what?
and Tucker.
Okay.
Bibs and Tucker.
Nice.
Well,
Nice.
that
there is whiskey under there if you in the cabinet if you feel like we need to take a shot as well.
I mean, it's a little way. I'm kind of landlocked right now, so.
I love your hat, Nigel.
I figured you would.
Oh, I should have worn mine. Dang it. I've got another one.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I got this not this year, but last year
2 years ago.
At Barrel and Flow.
I wish I'd gotten that version.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite. People love this hat because they're like, "What's that? What's that logo?" I'm like, "It's a dude with the hops as a beard and sunglasses." It's so dope. I wore it just for you.
Thank you. That makes me so happy. That is so awesome. That's so awesome.
So we do have rules on the
Cheers.
show. Cheers.
Okay.
Well, the first rule is you have a drink, so that's good. The second rule is if you curse, it's fine. It's a sort of a family show.
Not really.
Okay.
And if you need to burp, burp.
Lean in.
So if you decide to have another drink or have a beer, that's fine because we have beers. So because the show is kind of about beer, kind of.
Okay. A little bit.
Yeah, we'll see what hell happens.
I'm nervous.
We don't really know what's going to happen. It's fine. It's no big deal.
Well,
I don't know
Well,
anything about beer, so.
I guess we should tell people what we're drinking. Tell people what you're drinking.
We are drinking Ancient Trade from, did you say this is Alma Mater?
Alma Mater.
It's a Vienna-style lager.
It's very tasty.
Very tasty. Do you want to start off with the game?
Let's start off with the game.
We play a little game. It's called Guess the
Okay.
ABV. We play it Price is Right style. So closest without going over. If we were in person, the winner would get the rest of the beer.
But
So-
even you can play along
You
because
can play along,
I don't
'cause
know.
You obviously know what you're doing with beer. We do not.
Well,
Okay.
here we are.
We're amateurs.
Whatever. Semi-pro.
Professional tasters.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's
There's
Vienna
no
lager.
other description.
It's nowhere in this.
No other description is what I'm saying. We just know Vienna style lager.
Vienna style lager. I mean, generally that's
Okay.
It's tasty.
Probably, I don't know. We'll go 5, 6.
I was gonna go like maybe 5-1.
You know what? I'm gonna play the game. 5-5, just to get in there. Our actual retail ABV. Now I gotta find it. 5.2. Nigel.
Okay. Good job, Nigel. Good job.
I think it's the first win for either one of us in a while.
That is not true. I won a couple of podcasts ago. Remember at
Yeah, I don't want to talk about you win anymore. Instead, I'm gonna do this.
okay.
Beers with Nigel is poured for you by Dire Oil Graphics, promotional products and design. They cover your brand bumper to bumper with graphic design, promo products, and print. See what Dire Oil Graphics can build for you at direoil.com. That's DYEROIL.com.
Alrighty.
I like that.
Yeah. Shout out to Jonathan, Smooth Jazz Jonathan. Welcome to Beers with Nigel. It's a show about beer and
Other things or stuff.
Other
We don't
stuff, depending on what day.
Depending on what you're reading, actually, of our brand material.
Yeah. What brand?
Consistency is not a thing for us.
I mean, we're consistently fun.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Welcome to the show all the way from Pittsburgh, Daelyn.
Welcome.
So-
From our that's really Pittsburgh's kind of like our beer mecca.
Yeah. How do you pronounce your last name?
Schellhaas.
Schellhaas.
Daelyn Schellhaas.
Yeah.
Is that a married name?
That's a married name. Yeah.
Is
yeah.
that like-
My husband's, his people are by way of Germany, I think.
Okay, I figured. Yeah. Well, that makes perfect sense then that you're into beer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, perfect.
My maiden last name is Ruffin, so you'll see a lot of Ruffin on all my other stuff too. But I didn't hyphen because it's just too many syllables.
Yeah. Are you
At a certain point, you have to think about how am I going to confuse everyone.
Oh, it's terrible.
any relation to Kermit Ruffin? You know who he
No,
is?
but no, I don't know who Kermit Ruffin is.
go-
I know who David Ruffin is.
Go look up Kermit Ruffin. He's a great musician out of New Orleans.
Okay,
Yeah,
I will.
yeah, he's really really good. You might be related. You never know.
There's a lot of famous Ruffins running around,
Yeah.
so I come from a good pedigree, I guess,
Good,
in
good,
that
good.
sense.
So we met you at Barrel and Flow.
Yes.
You say we use a term for folks like you, force of nature, where you do like 12 things.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
She's one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Yes.
I'm not sure if I can like her. I try to have less talented people on the show.
It never works.
No.
It never works.
We set the bar pretty low, so like clearing our hurdles easy.
So how many titles would you give yourself of all the things you do? Give us a rundown.
Oh man. Okay. So, brewer, mixologist, hunter, obviously I'm a sustenance hunter, chef as well. And then, I'm a retired ballerina. I was a ballerina for 22 years. I retired in my early 30s. So this is kind of like my second and third act, I'll say, because hunting was probably what I took up after I retired from ballet, and then brewing was the career part of it. So
I told you.
yeah,
What
Yeah.
the? I don't even know where to start.
I do.
yeah,
Like, it's not going to take me long. But
So let's start with the beer part.
really,
where
really,
you at? Yeah.
you're going to start out here. We can go way back.
There's so many places we go, but let's start. Because partially she's on the show because
Okay.
Barrel and Flow.
We'll start-
Tell
we'll
us
start with
where you are in beer and what you're doing.
So right now I'm brewing with Ultra Genius. Shout out to those guys.
There's the hat right
And,
there for those who don't know.
That awesome. That's my favorite hat too because it's camo, so I can wear that.
You can
From
hunt.
the
You can
brewery.
hunt in it, right?
Yeah, I can hunt it. Yeah. We're all pretty much hunters.
Now I
over
feel like
at
I
the
should have
brewery,
gone
so-
hunting this weekend and chimed in from a tree stand.
He was supposed to be hunting this weekend.
I bailed.
He bitched out.
I bailed.
Well, that's why I bailed last weekend, so I'm so sorry, but it's called the rut. It's when all the boys chase the girls and
Yep.
it's heating up. So, but so I'm brewing with those guys, and I had my other job managing a restaurant. Then COVID happened, and COVID was great for me because I got to pivot and just do something that I wanted to be in production, hands on, and learn a little bit more. And I got a break from working with people. So I started hanging out with one of our suppliers, really. The guys were selling us just a ton of beer. We were still doing takeouts and growlers, and I wasn't needed in the building so much. So I started hanging out with them, and I kind of did like a free apprenticeship while I was, sitting on my couch collecting unemployment like a lot of other people in our industry. And literally we joke about it. I like wore a sign one day that was like, we'll work for beer. Cause I was like just working for beer and learning. And so I did that for about a year. And then they, had a position for an assistant brewer open up, in late 2021. So I took that, stayed on them with that, then just kind of furthered my education. I did, the eCornell program for, a master brewer certificate, did that and just continuing learning, did a couple, yeast programs with White Labs and signed on to the Pink Boot Society. I'm now the co-leader of that chapter here in Pittsburgh. And that's great. Just a lot of educational opportunity and scholarships there. So just kind of, 2 feet in, I don't do anything half-assed. I kind of just jump.
Really? We hadn't noticed that.
I can't imagine that. I mean,
Yeah.
I have to go backward a little bit because one of the cool things, and Nigel, I've talked about this a lot, but one of the cool things about this show and the people we meet is they all get to brewer from different places. And, the running theme is they're all smarter than us. But, attorneys, scientists, med schools people, right?
Teachers.
How do you get from professional ballerina to hunter brewer chef?
So, well, that's the thing too. So when you're being an artist, and a lot of artists will tell you that it doesn't come with a big paycheck, and it's really just hard to survive on that alone, being an artist and being a professional ballerina. So I always had to bartend. I always had to work, and that was the most compatible industry. I could, go dance, rehearse, put on a show, travel, have the freedom. But to pay the bills, I would come back, bartend, whatever. I'd sign on to some contract gigs, work in a kitchen, whatever. And then I could go and live my life for 6 months during the season. So I have always had a foot in the food and beverage industry, probably from the time I was 18 years or so. That was always, my father owned a bar too. I don't know if I ever said that. So he owned a couple bars growing up. So I always kind of just had that in my blood, I guess, being in the restaurant industry. So that never really left. No matter everything else I was doing, I was always still kind of in the restaurant business, and I was always around beer. And in the early 2000s, craft beer really blew up here in Pittsburgh. So it's a couple places like, Sharper Edge and Sidelines. I'll even give them a shout out, that had a lot of the craft scene. And I was on every single beer list and had all my mugs. I'd, roll into town and fill up my list as quick as possible. So I always kind of was into it and was in, had an ear to the ground in that aspect. So, I don't know, it was natural. A lot of artists drink and smoke too. So.
Same with kitchen workers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
it seemed natural to me.
Right.
It lends the two questions I gave you previously when you asked for us if we have questions. What were you drinking before you discovered craft beer? And do you remember something that turned you on to be like, oh, this is totally different?
So, it's funny. I was always a big wheat fan. And I always liked it, pretty chewy. I liked it a little fruity too. So any kind of Hefeweizen, Hoegaarden was my jam back in the day. And I love and then locally, Lancaster Brewing always did strawberry wheat. So that was funny. So some of my beer lists, it was always Lancaster strawberry with 6 of those, 6 Hoegaardens, and I would always, and framboise. So I always pretty much started on the wheat side and the fruity side. So Lancaster wheats and framboise and Hoegaarden, bloody side of the hose or whatever they were called. That's a bad thing. I can't remember what they were called. They were called something like that. You know what I'm talking about. Whatever. So that's what I started with.
So you didn't really drink any macro bullshit, huh?
No, man. I had expensive taste. So,
Is that because you had access to the good stuff growing up?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I wasn't like a natty and a icy light or a natty ice girl in college or anything.
Well, that's a lot of
So
time,
not even in college, you didn't do the cheap stuff.
No.
Wow.
No.
You were raised right.
You were big time in college. Even I was Keystone Light in college.
Oh God, no.
Look, that was a suitcase for $6. Come on.
Yeah, like my first and favorite, I'm gonna say IPA was Sierra Nevada. So even in 2004 with my fake ID, I was rolling to the party with a case of Sierra Nevada.
Oh no shit! Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's you.
I was the most popular person at the party. Yeah, for sure. I was the only one with a fake, and I'm like, everybody give me $10, and with that $10, you overcharge, you go get the expensive stuff.
Yeah.
and then with the $8 left over, I'd buy them a case of American and be like, that's for you guys.
Yeah, there you go.
See, she is smart.
The
brewers are always the smart ones.
So it sounds like you are a creative. Obviously, it makes perfect sense being a dancer and all that business. What was it about beer that you were like, I think I want to be in the brewing of it? Had you homebrewed before? Why'd you want to dabble?
So I was never a home brewer. I got lucky, right? So I kind of jumped right to commercial. But honestly, it was the science of it all. But to go a little bit deeper, it wasn't necessarily oh, I love beer so much, I want to be a brewer. It was I'm secretly a prepper. And when the fall of civilization happens, what can I do? And I'm like, okay, I already know how to hunt. I was like, what else is going to be valuable? Because I can't garden for shit. But I was like, I'll make beer. And that's it, right? I'm set. So that's really why I was like, I want to learn this skill. In the history of beer, right?
Yeah.
People were drinking beer when the water wasn't safe. And they're,
What was your major in college?
Marketing and supply chain.
Okay.
that was after ballet because I was a dance major.
Okay.
I was a dance major first. So I want to say, so right after I graduated, I had my associates in dance. This was kind of the pressure from the family to like, you're not going to be able to eat that dance degree. What else are you going to do? And I like, tested pretty high in a lot of subjects. And they're like, I was like, what can I do in the short amount of time to get me out of school? So then I just did that. Yeah. That wasn't anything I was like necessarily passionate about, but it you sit down with your counselors and they're like, you're all over the place. Go to marketing.
I want to stick on the being a prepper because I think that's funny.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like, I feel like this is a rabbit hole we could really spend some time in.
Oh, I'm so weird.
How did you get into? I mean, was the hunting part of you realized your prepperness? Was that a word?
Yeah.
Or did you just kind of how did you stumble into that?
Yeah. So everybody has a story, right? And I'll credit that to being like poor, right? So growing up and like, you grow up with like your food insecurities and just a lot of, insecurities. I want to say, I wasn't eating like ramen noodle every night, but sure, there was some insufficiencies there. So I always just wanted to have enough and I wanted to be able to provide for myself in that kind of sense. So it was always just there. And if I couldn't get really rich, I figured I'd had to figure out a way how to just get those needs met. So I'm still not rich, but at least I can feed myself.
So what all you say you're a sustenance hunter. So what all are you hunting?
Sure. So obviously deer, like you see some deer there and turkey. There's a turkey on the wall there.
Oh, there we go. Okay. There we go.
So I don't do too much small game, but fish, turkey, deer is pretty much just the bulk of where my hunting is.
And you have it processed and you have your proteins for your
I
house.
Self-process. Yeah, I self-process everything. Yeah.
That's a lot of work, man.
No, that's not even a lot of work. That's a lot of balls.
It's a lot. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of effort.
I'm like, yeah,
it's messy.
So, So how did you get?
I don't even field dress myself.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
You don't?
No, that's an easy $50. I will pay someone else to do it.
Come on.
So how'd you get into the hunting part of it, and what in your psyche was like, oh, this is something that I dig?
So it's funny. So my dad was a fisherman. Like we grew up. I'm from Buffalo, New York. I don't know if we talked about that. We talked about that. Don't make me go and get it.
Big day today. Big day.
Big day today. So I grew up in Buffalo, New York, but there's just there's the lake and tributaries. So we grew up fishing. I mean, that's what my dad did. Like he was always out fishing for bass, salmon, yada, yada. One year he tried to kill a turkey and he had it in the backyard. And this is so funny too, because like we lived in the hood. So he had like this wild turkey and my mom laughs at him all the time. She's like, he ain't going to kill that turkey. Wild turkey running around in the yard for like days and like couldn't kill it. I don't know if he was scared or didn't want to, didn't know what to do with it. Running around, it was supposed to be like our turkey dinner. That never happened.
Oh no!
I think he just like let it go, like opened up the fence and off the wild turkey went. But from that age on, I was like, yeah, when I get older, I'm gonna be like this badass hunter and like this fisherman. Like I always wanted to do that. So when I was professionally dancing, I didn't have time for any of that. And then I want to say like right around when I retired, I had all this free time. You go from dancing 15, 14 hours a day to like nothing. So I was like, I'm going to learn about this. So I went like online and bought a bow and did all this stuff and realized I didn't know shit about shit, right? I didn't know anything. And I was like trying to find people who like went out and do that, but nobody wants to take a girl out who doesn't know what she's doing. It was pretty hard. And I got lucky that I met my now husband and he's like, yeah, I'll take you out. That's probably why we ended up together. Somebody introduced us. I was like, he's a big hunter and a fisherman. You'll love this guy. So I started dating him and he was awesome. He's like just a true sportsman. Like he studies it. There's people who like hunt and then there's like hunters,
Yes.
And he's like a hunter, like reading like weather patterns and you know what I mean? Like, I'm like what? like looking for sign and rubs and scratches. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? It's like some Native American stuff, like looking up in the sky. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna hitch my wagon to this cart.
Are you strictly bow?
No, I do both, but I find archery to be a lot more challenging and a lot more fascinating. And
I'm sure.
And there's a lot of pressure that goes with rifle. I mean, you just got to start blasting, you know, they're moving. There's people all around. It's a lot for me. It's a little chaotic, you know, in a lot of a distance. But with archery, you're stealth. I like being stealth, like being sneaky, getting in dark, getting out dark. So I prefer archery.
Fair enough. Nigel, do you know what it's time for?
Yeah, I know what time it is.
All right.
What time is it?
It's
Mystery beer.
It's mystery beer time.
Mystery.
Oh, it's on a loop. It's on a loop.
Shout out to our girl, Bree Burrows. She's
Owner and brewer.
Yeah, we have Kansas City's different because we have a fair number of women brewers and owners of breweries, which is fucking dope.
Yes.
We also have the distinction of having the one and only Black female assistant brewer in Kansas City ever, and she works at Vine Street Brewing. So shout out to Des. She's kind of like you. Des is kind of like you. She has way too many fucking talents, and it ain't right.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
She is awesome, and
she plays like 7 instruments, all self-taught.
Okay.
She's the one who will walk by and see something. Yeah, I'm an expert at that now.
Yeah,
I love it. I got to meet Des. I've met a lot of really amazing women from Kansas City. Melissa is actually one of the co-leaders of the chapter out there. I got to make sure that we find Des and bring her into the fold. She needs to be a part of that.
All right, Nick. I brought Nick something. So we'll explain the mystery beer situation. So when we first started the podcast, I would bring beers in this bag. It's a golf bag. It's from a golf course.
Oh,
Nobody,
okay.
the guy who gave it to me or left it at my house is not talking about where it came from. So, so when we first started the podcast, Nick was not super well versed in beer. Oh, what are you drinking, girl?
Just a Miller Lite.
Oh,
Sorry,
wait, whoa.
Listen.
After
It's a football
all
day.
that talk, I don't drink those macro shit.
It's my husband's. I said, grab me a beer. And he said, a fancy one or a Miller Lite? I said, just give me a beer.
Look, there's nothing wrong with a Miller's Lite.
Listen, that's a staple. That's Old Faithful. So
Heard.
Yeah.
So basically, we played the ABV game, and we pulled out a mystery beer. We have 3 beers in here. So I told Nick I was going to bring him something special, and we have a thing called beer karma. So we have rules in life. Rule number 1:
Don't die.
don't die. Rule number 2: don't be a dick.
Covers a multitude of sins.
Covers a lot of things
Yeah.
because if you're a dick, you ruin your beer karma. And beer karma is you put beer out into the world, it comes back to you. I just had some regulars at the brewery I work at. Brought me, 24 beers from Fargo, North Dakota yesterday.
okay.
And they just show up. And
It just
then
happens.
Another buddy of mine
That's awesome.
who's a brewer at KC Beer, they have the Advent calendar beer box thing. He just shows up to the brewery yesterday. He goes, "Here you guys go." I'm like, "Well, beer karma's real."
I mean, like here in my studio, which is in a co-working building, right? I've come in before several times, and there's just 4-pack, 6-packs just sitting on the table. No notes. Just people dropping off beer.
So here's what we got. Sexual chocolate.
Sexual chocolate.
Sexual chocolate.
This is a beer that has been on my wish list for years. I've never had it, and I think did Lenny bring it to me?
Somebody have.
Somebody brought it to me because they knew I was looking for it. So it's a
shout out to our international beer ambassador, Lenny Blue.
It's a bourbon barrel aged stout.
Mm.
From I can't read that shit. We'll figure it out. Anyway,
You didn't put your readers on, old man. They're right there.
but I'm trying not to look at
good.
the ABV. I'm trying not to look at the ABV. You know what I'm saying? Because we're all gonna play the game.
I like that.
Look out! Let's see how dark. Ooh, dark and rich right there. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like the good Lord intended.
So we're in this little studio, and it's a situation now. We have to figure out how to reach and give each other the beer because he's like 3 feet away. So it's oh, you got the Trogs shirt on. The Trogs.
There we go.
I love some Trogs.
I thought you guys were in 2 different buildings. This is not.
No, so my studio is it's a former vault from my post office. Oh, boo. You know what though? I can't hate because I saw whose jersey that is. I can't hate on that.
Let me just slip it to something more comfortable.
That just fucking happened. That just happened.
Look, respect to Jim Kelly.
Oh, you a Jim Kelly fan?
How can you not be? I mean, look, that dude.
I gotta take pictures.
Look, some players are just too
lean
good.
back, Nick, so I can see your jersey.
There we go.
There we go. That's fucking hilarious. I don't really give a shit, to be honest with you, Day.
Because you're British.
Okay, there's that. You know, if you stuck me to it, I'm a Steelers fan, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I respect that.
But I can't really pick one team. I've lived all over the country, so you live someplace long enough, you kind of get an affinity to them. Like I lived in New Orleans when they won the Super Bowl, so I'm kind of a New Orleans fan. I lived in L.A. I've lived.
So which L.A. team?
Oh, shit.
If you say Raiders, we're both gonna hate.
No, it would be the original Rams.
The original.
Yeah, not the Rams now.
Not the St. Louis Rams that are there now.
Yeah. So anyway, sexual chocolate.
Sexual chocolate.
I'm gonna assume since it's barrel aged.
Oh god damn.
I could just smell that. I could smell the toasty notes from here.
Well, it's my equipment actually. I send the smell streaming across the interwebs.
Why is that not a thing?
I don't know. It should be.
What would you? That is smooth.
There is. I don't even know what to say right now, except for I want more.
That's sneaky smooth because it doesn't.
I feel like this is going to
aged.
come up a little harder than we think.
That's what she said. I'm going to say 10.1%.
Ooh.
I was gonna go a lot higher, but I'm gonna Price is Right you on this one.
Going 10.2.
I'm gonna go 10.2.
Dave, would you like to take a guess?
Yeah, I'll just. You said it's really smooth.
Yeah, it's very smooth. Not a lot of barrel character, but a little bit of booze.
Okay.
The barrel
that
hits
helps,
at the end.
so.
The barrel age.
It definitely on the end.
On the end is when you really
got
get that.
booze.
I'm gonna go 9.8.
Our actual retail ABV. Oh, this is surprising. 9.6.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
was originally actually going to go 11.
It's from Foothills Brewing in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
The label on that is pretty badass.
Psychedelic. I like it.
Yeah, it says big chocolate aroma with notes of espresso.
By the way, you're not getting that bottle back.
Blackstrap molasses, dark sweet toffee, and dark fruit. Smooth dark chocolate backbone with complex notes of coffee, dark chocolate, and dark fruit.
I like how you dropped an octave. As
I mean, you got to.
Yes,
It's sexual
Nigel.
chocolate. Good Lord.
Nigel, that is sexy. Keep talking like that.
Cocoa infused imperial stout. Oh my God! Yeah, this has been on my list for years. I've never had it, so it had to be Lenny who brought this.
That had to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to
Lenny and Karen, the Blues, the Traveling Blues.
Yeah.
What Cedar and Silver. That's their traveling name.
Follow Cedar and Silver if you want to see people living the Airstream life, which,
Okay.
I'm surprised they're not hunters.
They're probably foragers. People in the
they are
Airstream.
foragers.
Yeah, they're definitely foragers.
Yeah.
They're foragers.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the part I didn't know. Chef.
What?
This chef business.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I need to tape over my screen. That Bill's name just keeps coming up.
Oh my God.
I'll help you. I'll put a hat on too.
Yeah, yeah. Please.
All right, I'll see.
So how'd you get into the chef game? Like you said, you worked in the restaurant industry as well.
Yeah, and I think when you go into management, you wear every hat that you have to make the ship stay afloat. So whenever they just needed help, I'd go into jumping behind the line and all that kind of stuff. I want to say that I don't want to be like I was naturally a good cook, but like
Some people are.
It's fine.
Yeah, it was
It's
just
fine.
It was just kind of natural, a little self-taught. Then I started jumping in the kitchen and back of the house, starting with prep and then doing other things. I watch and I learn. I guess I'm just one of those people.
You're definitely
you're
a learner.
Yeah, I started running a small kitchen, trying some things. I had some great friends who were, some CIA grads even, Culinary Institute, who were like obsessed with gastronomy. So we worked hand in hand on the mixology side, crafting beverage programs. And a lot of that stuff, it's a symbiotic relationship. A lot of that stuff overlaps. And, you see a lot of the same techniques in both.
I mean, and you the word symbiotic, because that's the same thing as beer. So when you're brewing beer, like I tell Nick, he swears up and down he can't brew a beer, but he can cook. I'm like, then you can.
If you can cook, you can brew.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Brewing is closer to baking because there's way too many rules in science. Cook, I don't have to worry about math as much.
That's fair.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, cook, you can freestyle. Cook is jazz. Baking, that's goddamn classical music.
Bro,
you got rules.
Bro, we need to
that's actually great.
We need to put that on a t-shirt.
That's actually
jazz.
Freaking awesome. Yeah,
I mean, that's you know what? That's probably the most sense you've made this whole goddamn year.
I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
No, it is. I mean, we need to put that on something. That's pretty dope. Cooking
but I
is
mean,
jazz.
That's the thing. Like, I don't like baking. There's rules and there's math. I don't like either of those things.
But even in beer, though, there's some creativity to it.
Well, I mean, when we do collabs, I can throw flavor profiles out and say, hey, this and this and this and this go together. Let's balance that out. But I can't come up with a recipe, and I certainly can't tell you the ratios of things to add in.
Day.
Yeah.
Check this shit out. He's very modest. So we have a beer we do every year at the brewery I work out. Shout out to Transparent
Nolan.
Brewing and Nolan. It's called Beer Karma. So we rotate every year what the recipe is going to be. Same base, but you have to come up with a recipe. And because he's a cook and a good cook, what did he do this year? He just brewed it the other day. Peanut butter coffee stout. Boom.
Okay.
We'll get you some.
Please. I don't want to keep hearing about it.
And this is the fucked up thing about it. So Nolan, the owner brewer, he threw out peanut butter. He's like, "You trying to fuck up my system?" But
I was gonna say.
But you know what though? They still brewed it with PB2, so it's happening.
Which I had no idea that was a thing. Like powdered peanut butter. I had no clue.
Yeah.
He pulls out these jars. I'm like, what is with those jars of peanut butter?
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, they brewed it. So you'll appreciate this as a brewer. So they do this, and it's going to be a good boil for that stout, right? The boiler dies in the middle of the boil.
Like 10 minutes in. 10 minutes in. Click.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
We laugh. It's so funny. I had like a catastrophe on our last collab day. But you got to be a damn engineer too, with being a brewer.
Oh yeah.
Because something is always breaking.
Yep.
Something is always like, you got to figure out how to make it work.
That's why I like to say that we are, and we take this from Dave Bracey, right? We are beer adjacent.
Yes.
We're not brewers.
You're getting closer.
I can drink it. I can talk about it. And I can tell you what flavors might be good, but no.
Yeah. You know more than most. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
Brewers,
I love me some Dave Bracey. Can we give a shout out to Dave
Bracey?
Bracey?
Always podcast daddy, baby.
Yeah. The Drinking Partners podcast is the reason this podcast exists.
Okay.
Because I went to Barrel and Flow, or the artist formerly known as Fresh Fest, in 2019. Because I don't know how I discovered their podcast, but I did. I was like, ooh, black people in beer. In that 2019, I went to Fresh Fest, and I probably fanboyed the shit out of them.
I mean, to be fair, we still do.
Yeah, and then
it's easy to do.
And then we started the podcast, and it was a thing for them to come on every year before the fest on our podcast, which was a huge deal to us.
Except this year.
And so we were on their podcast.
We were on their podcast.
So, which was a fucking huge deal as well. But we started calling them our podcast daddies.
which I love because they hate.
That's probably a little weird.
You know what? If because we play Christmas the Chiefs play at Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's right.
If the Chiefs win, they might get Chiefs jerseys that say Podcast Daddies on the back.
We should come up with a little friendly little bet there.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm nervous. I'm nervous about this one.
About today?
Oh, yeah. About today.
Christmas?
About today. I'm nervous about this one.
It'll be fine.
Well, you should be.
Look, they got our number during the regular season.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're 3-3 in regular. I was looking at the stats. So in the regular season, we're 3-3. So it could go either way.
Also, our evil kicker just broke his knee.
Oh, yeah. Get rid of that asshole.
Whoa. Wow.
Look. When he's kicking, I like him. Every other time, get the fuck out of here.
Can I get some beer, please?
Yeah.
Damn it, I didn't want to share this.
I was going to say, did you guys see our collaboration with me and Day?
Yeah, Day,
yes.
and
Day and Day Sean. Yeah, he's a brewer.
And so that was before I met you. So I was like,
that's before you met me.
Yeah,
yes.
I was like, okay.
Maybe early 2022. I want to say. I believe we released the first one.
Because you've done it twice.
The spring of 2022.
Have you guys done it twice?
3-day weekend. Yeah, we have 3 versions of it. There's volume 1, 2, and 3. All 3 different styles, all 3 different bases.
So what are the 3 styles?
The original one we called it's an alt beer. Essentially, it's a dark Kolsch. So we off-roaded a Kolsch style a little bit with a little bit of a dark malt. It has a smoky feel to it,
nice.
But it's an alt beer. The second one is a mango wheat. So just right up my alley. Anything a little weedy, but not real chewy.
Wheat and fruit. We hear you.
That one's pretty clean. And then the third one is a raspberry chocolate.
That's the Dave Bracey
stout.
That's the Dave Bracey one. I'm calling.
Yeah. But it's still beer flavored beer.
Yeah.
But he likes raspberry. He likes to go a little crazy.
Yeah.
No, I love that about him.
Yeah, he came here.
I think that's his favorite one too. Yeah.
Yeah, he came here earlier in the year because we did a whole event for the One Pint at a Time film, and we did a bunch of collabs. And he came. No, the lights went out. You're fine.
No, I was gonna see if she could see the One Pint.
Oh
poster.
yeah, well yes, it's not behind you. So anyway, so the film One Pint at a Time, they came and did some collabs, and Dave's collab. Everybody did the same base, buckwheat honey blonde, and of course he went blackberry cinnamon.
Oh yeah.
It was great though.
Oh no, they were all good, but his was
And to be fair, too, the brewers at Diametric, well, all the brewers at all of them are amazing,
shout out to Diametric,
but Diametric can do the weird shit very well.
So as far as how long you been at Ultra
awesome.
Genius? How long you been there? You said 21.
About 4 years now. Yeah, going 3.5 years. So yeah.
So are you doing more stuff? Because assistant brewer can mean a lot of fucking things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
you do a lot of cleaning.
Of course she does.
Yeah.
That's part of the game. You know that.
Yeah. I am more independent now. I have just like this year started doing my own like kind of independent brew days,
Nice.
which is a big deal.
Yeah.
These beers are these guys' babies essentially. So to trust me enough to go in, run a brew day, and not stress about it the whole time and trust me is huge. And we are not an automation brewery. We're very hands-on. So we're moving 700 pounds of grain or more, depending on the recipe, yourselves. We are hand lautering, we're hand mashing out. So everything is pretty physical. And the fact that they like trust me to do that, to follow along and yeah, so I can run brew days by myself. I brew by myself, but I also have my own from start to finish recipe in the tank right now.
Oh shit!
Nice.
So all me. Yep.
What are you doing?
It's funny. I'm doing a beer de garde.
Oh,
actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's bold.
Yeah.
I don't know what that one is. Tell me more.
Sure. It's a farmhouse, French farmhouse. It's in the same family as a Saison, maybe a little Belgium-y.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually ended up using a versatile yeast that could be used for a Belgium or a Saison. So it's in that family. My guys are pretty much known for their Saisons. I mean, that's what they love to do. So it was a natural progression for me, probably why I like that style the most. So a little funky, but dry, crisp. I did a fig and pear dry fruit fusion on the hot side.
Okay.
So you get it kind of on the back end, kind of preserve some of those volatile flavors. And actually, I was in yoga this morning when they were transferring it out of the fermenter today to the bright. So it's moving right along.
How big of a system are you guys on?
10 barrel.
That's good. Yeah, that's good size.
Yeah.
What was the name of the style again?
Beer to guard.
Beer guard.
Beer to guard.
Yeah. So
Beer to
I gotta remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'd love to send you some. So the brewery I work at, we do a French saison. That's one of our flagships.
Okay.
And that's maybe one of my favorite beers in Kansas City. I mean, top 3 at least.
Awesome.
Well, I love it. I love it
my favorite
because
style.
as a beer tender, I can hustle someone who, what do you drink normally? And they send me, I'm like, oh, champagne. Oh, I got you. Oh, I drink this. I'm like, oh, we don't have a sour, but I can hook somebody. I'm like, that particular style has so many different things on the palate.
The esterification,
Yeah.
you can go any way
Yeah.
with your yeast there. And you can get it funky. You can get it
I'll have
sour,
to send you some of that.
dry.
We actually brought some to the bottle share because I bring it every year because it's not many people are doing a French saison with that French yeast. You know what I'm saying? So it's very sneaky for even somebody. I want something light. You want light in color? You want light in ABV? You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of a mind fuck of a beer, which I love. I love anytime you can hustle somebody. You know, because you know how it is. Motherfuckers come in. Yeah. I drink Bud Light. Okay, I got something for you. You know. Okay. So we have 4 staples that we have on. We have just an straight American stout. Last 2 years has been the #1 stout in Kansas City. People love the shit out of it. We have a Kolsch, awesome. A really clean Kolsch that, you know, for all the people who drink the macros.
You're Miller Lite guys. Yeah.
Then we have the saison, and then we have a really nice pale ale that really it's on the border of IPA. You know, because they're cousins. So if somebody says, "Well," because we might do maybe 2 IPAs a year. That's not what we do. But if somebody wants an IPA, I'm like, this will fit the palate. But if you want a pale ale, yeah. So and we talk about it all the time. That's the one thing I like about beer is like, you know,
he likes to be coach.
Yeah,
he likes to coach you up.
We were on the Bruising Banter podcast, and what's his name was like, well, I don't like IPAs. I'm like, there's 50-11 IPAs out there.
Yeah, what is IPA?
Yeah.
It's a shit ton. I mean,
you know, quit.
Don't say hoppy.
Yeah, like what don't you like about it, and I can find you an IPA you like. Yeah.
What's your favorite style to brew and maybe to drink?
Favorite style to drink 100% is a saison in all of those families. You know, French beer to guard as well. Anything a little bit on the funky side.
Yeah, I love a funky.
To brew. Kolsch or no. It's funny. My favorite thing to brew is a seltzer.
Oh shit! Really?
Not really. No, really sarcastic. My favorite thing to brew. It's when I was bartending. It's funny. People be like, "What's your favorite drink to make?" And I'd be like, "A bottle of Miller Lite." So yeah, to brew, super easy days. Getting out early, but you know. Probably something that changes a bit from that you can see the process from wort to, you know, to transfer out something like probably a stout. I mean, they're fun. It's fun to smell it. It's fun to see the colors change. Yeah. It's fun to, you know, getting your mouthfeel down, zeroing that in, your oats or any kind of, you know, anything you're adding stuff to. I don't know. That's always fun. It's fun to see that change and happen and play around with it essentially.
It's interesting because you know, we talk about forces of nature and Lady Lager.
Yeah.
Rhythm Brewing. I know you met her. Elisa.
Yes.
It's kind of the same
very definition of force of nature.
Yeah, but also dancer.
Yeah.
Brewer. All these
coffee roaster.
All these. It's the I wish I had
world
that
dominator.
Much world dominator. Yes,
that's plan 3 or phase 3.
Yeah. I mean,
like it ain't gonna shock me if it happens. It's fine.
No, and really, as many shows as we've done, you know, there's been a few guys that are like that, but it's mostly the ladies that are the fucking ones that are like, you know. just fucking
You
handles
know
all
what?
the business.
You know what the coolest thing is? They finally started to name us. They used to, people would be like, ADD or ADHD, but now we're like neurodivergent. And like,
Oh,
that's sexy. Like
neurodivergent. Girl, you need to make that a beer name.
Neurodivergent. You know what? You heard it here first.
Yes.
Trademark pending. Neurodivergent. So like now we have a whole name for those of us who and like, we nerd out, we deep dive, we get into something we're super passionate about. Like, we'll read the dictionary from first page to the last.
Is that are you neurodivergent or are you just badass? I mean, like, that's the thing. You talk about naming. Like, I think we've spent a lot of time not giving women.
Well,
right?
Again,
the space.
Well, it's like I was talking to a friend of mine this morning, and I was telling who we were going to talk to, and why? And this was a real question. Well, why not talk to the head brewer? I'm like, first of all, the head brewer is probably a man and probably white.
And like, I'm just gonna tell you right now,
they both.
We are the worst.
They're awesome though.
So we're the worst.
And I find no disrespect, but I said the story is a black woman in beer who's a fucking ballet dancer, and now we find out she's a chef and she's a hunter and she's a mixologist and she's a brewer. That's the story to me, because again, we talked about this last podcast. Part of this podcast is telling a story like yours.
That's most of it.
That is telling your story, because people need to see someone like you. There's probably someone out there be like, bro, first of all, I've never heard of Ultra Genius, and they've got a black female brewer? What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's cachet, just throwing it out there. I mean.
And you know what? Those guys, it's so funny. When I started going and I started learning how to brew, they were the ones who pushed me to join some of the other female forward women in the brewing industry. So I was like, I don't really want to do that. And they're like, go do it. I started doing it, and I was like, yes, there's not very many women, but then there was no women of color.
Right.
So by happenstance, I ended up being the first black female in commercial brewing in the city, which I was like, well, that's pretty cool, I guess, cool. Because it's very cool. But I was like, damn, there's nobody else. But when we started doing just some Q&A type things and panels, if you will. There was like one in particular I did with Babesburg, which is another organization in Pittsburgh. And there was a room full of about 20 to 25 young women of color. And they're all like, I want to brew.
Yeah.
This is so cool. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. It was really, really cool. Really cool. So,
and we've talked about both of these things a lot, Nigel, after, what is this, 123?
Whatever. Yeah.
Whatever. Is I don't know if combating is the right word, or just dealing with bullshit of gender bias in the beer industry and race bias. Are they the same kind of fights? Is fight the right word?
Yeah. Fight's the same word. Excuse me. In this world. So I can only talk about my experiences, right? Because I don't know what white women necessarily deal with on a day-to-day, but I would assume from the women's side of it, yes, it's still there. Your input at certain events or certain collaborations or things like that, it's kind of the status quo, and I know best. I've been doing this for a long time kind of thing. That's still there, sure. And then as far as just the race thing, we just have so much work to do. We have so much work to do. I don't think there's a big enough appreciation at all for people of color in brewing. It's just not there. We are a little spoiled in Pittsburgh because we have Barrel and Flow, and we have, Dave Bracey and people who work with him to champion the Drinking Brothers podcast, to champion that fight. And then Maryland and certain areas of KC and, Houston. But you go outside of that, they don't exist. Right. Everywhere I go, black-owned brewery, none, 0, 0, 0. It's just not there. So there's more women in brewing than there are Black people in brewing. If to simplify an answer there.
That's fair. I mean, that's Kansas City.
And I've just always been curious because I know kind of the line is when they talk about Barrel and Flow, right, that it's billions-dollar industry, right, and less than 1% includes Black-owned businesses. And the line has always been, and most of that 1% or whatever are in Pittsburgh for Barrel and Flow, which I think is cool because that should be a point of pride. But at the same time, it's a little bit sad, isn't it?
It's sad.
That we can fit them all in that one place.
But I still think that platform there.
I said it's a great platform. I just wondered about your reactions to that because it seems like it should be both good and bad.
Yeah, actually, Nigel, where you were going with that, it's getting bigger and bigger every year. Now just not nationwide, we're starting to get people internationally who are attending this event. I think where the pride comes in at is that it's growing, right? So it's growing, it's getting out there. And I mean, the biggest sad part is there are still people in the city who still don't know what it is and still have never been.
Well, there's that.
And I remember I talked to people and my friends about it. I'm like, it's Barrel and Flow Week for the last 3 years. It's Barrel and Flow Week. And they're like, what is that? And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how much of a rock do you live under? So it's like you have to make a conscious effort to still find people of color in brewing and find it. And people just, I don't know if they just choose not to see it and they're not going out to experience it. I don't know.
I look at it like this. So I think about 2019 Fresh Fest. I went by myself. I actually met someone from Kansas City who happened to be there. You fast forward to this year, because we've been Pied Piper in this motherfucker for 5 years, and we had, if you count the Vine Street people from Kansas City, 20 people. So each year, as we do this and other people talk about it, and when it's the number one fucking beer fest in USA Today, people are getting it. And
yes.
the one thing I like about it is, it's a great beer fest, and Day describes it as it's an
art fest
disguised as a beer fest.
Yeah,
but he's
it's accurate.
But he's also even on the promotion of it, it's Black AF.
yes.
And I tell people all the time, you don't have to be Black to go, but it's probably gonna be the most Black people you've seen at a beer fest. Not probably. Yes. It is going to be the most Black people.
It is. Most definitely is.
And
yes.
I feel like we have this conversation every fucking podcast. I'm like, I've been to a lot of beer fests all over the country. I still get goosebumps when I talk about it, and I still get hyped when it's time to go. So it's just it's kind of our mecca.
It's our pilgrimage every summer.
I mean, every year, because every year I'm like, okay.
There's no question, are we going to go? We're going.
No, and we're like, then it's like, are you coming this year? Last year you said you were coming. What the fuck? Are you coming or not? Because a lot of motherfuckers say they're going to come. You know how those people are.
I think we were the only ones who purchased the group ticket package this year for VIP.
If you bought the 10 tickets, you got a discount, right? And so we get there, and we had a whole crew, and we did a collab with Helicon Brewing.
Good.
Yeah, we did a tropical stout, mango coconut chocolate. It was dope.
That was good.
I just found one in my fridge, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Good. I'm pretty sure I tried it.
Yeah.
Because I remember.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Unique. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I tried it.
So we get there, and people were like, at the thing, you're Nigel. You're the only one that bought the 10-pack of tickets. I'm like, of 4,000 people, I'm the only one to get the discount. It's wild.
I knew who you were. I ran right up to you.
I know you did
at the hotel. Nigel.
No, that's
awesome.
Yeah. We could wax poetic about Barrel and Flow for hours. It's just one of those things that I can tell you about it. You have to go, and
you got to experience Barrel and Flow.
To the people that we took, they're still talking about it. Talking about it.
Well, like it's been 4 or 5 years. We talk about it every day. Or every show.
Fair. Well, I mention it probably 4 days a week when I'm working it behind the bar. So, because
it is It is so much bigger than Beer Fest. It is
Oh,
just
yeah.
a movement.
Yeah.
It is a movement.
Yeah, I mean, as Ed says, it's a vibe.
Yeah.
It's a whole vibe all its own.
When was the first time you went?
My first year there was 2019 too, when it was Fresh Fest.
Really?
Yeah. So it was really pretty small then, and I remember there was a little bit of drama that year with where that first location was.
What, Nova Place? Yeah.
With the I don't know, we won't get into all
Yeah.
that.
But,
But,
that's where I met the Bruising Banter guys
Oh, okay.
that
Yes.
year. Because it was indoor, outdoor. It was kind of dope. The location was kind of dope. I mean,
Yeah.
and
And then I didn't go 2020. I don't know if it was held in 2020
That was
or
the
2021.
DigiFest.
yeah, that was
2020.
DigiFest.
DigiFest, okay, didn't do that, or 2021, and 2022 I was back. So
Yeah, 21 was
2022.
We were there.
it was real
22.
spread out, remember? And then there was the restaurant guy that did not like having the festival there.
Oh,
Is that what
that,
you're
I'm
thinking?
sorry.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
That was 21.
The
Yeah,
hop
that's
fry house
yeah.
or some bullshit.
Yeah, I was like, don't want to give him any.
Yeah,
give him any-
but that fest,
any
it was that
energy.
thing was so spread out, it was impossible. We missed a bunch of shit.
We missed like a whole street
because
because it was so spread out.
So where it is now, it's way. I'm thinking that's kind of the perfect place. I thought Nova.
Love the stacks.
Yeah, Nova Place was cool too because remember it was indoor outdoor. Remember that shit? That was kind of dope too. But yeah, where it is now, it's you take some laps.
You can do some laps. You got that kind of courtyard in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're missing anything, you can kind of come back and
We
check
you know
in
what
here and there.
we miss shit every year because we spend time more time talking than we do drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after a certain point, you do too much drinking, and you're like, all right, I can't. I have a hard time.
I don't think we've ever gotten to that point. We had one of our crew this year. He did more drinking than talking.
Yeah, but he was a rookie. It's okay.
It's his rookie
little
year.
rookie mistake. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Well-
We ended up in the cigar lounge truck, whatever that trailer
Oh,
thing
the
is.
mobile,
Yeah.
For like an hour, we just ended up sitting there, and we met some dude who he and his buddy come every year, but he doesn't really like beer, so he spends his whole day
in the
cigar lounge.
Oh.
And so, like, if there had been cameras and a microphone, we would have had an extra show.
Yeah, we would.
But we
have.
just sat and
Yeah.
talked to this guy for an hour and smoked cigars. It was great.
And so fun fact about that story. So I've got a buddy of mine who's getting ready to retire next year, big cigar guy, and I showed him pictures of that trailer. He wants to do that.
I do too. It's a great business idea.
I mean, I was like,
really,
just go to
really cool.
events and have a cigar bar in a fucking trailer.
And then he opens up his cabinet. You guys want a whiskey? Well, sure.
We one of the ladies put on an event for Barrel and Flow out at Dope Cider House over in Youngstown, Ohio, with Hannah. I know you guys know Hannah, and he brought that cigar truck. And,
Oh, no shit!
It was hard to get out of there. I was like, a cider flight, sitting in one of those comfy chairs.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is like the life.
Yes.
It was perfect. They're nice.
We need to get him
Really
on the
nice.
podcast.
We should.
Yeah.
We should. That'd be great.
I can't remember the name, but
I've got pictures because I've got pictures. Yeah, Nick, I need a beer, man.
I was gonna say this year for Barrel and Flow, I had a whole plan. So the guys, were great. Mike, Donnie, and Day. They were like, Day, we're gonna work it this year. So because the last couple of years, I didn't like mingle. I missed a lot. I missed a lot of people that I wanted to see in beers. People like, did you try that one? Did you try that one? I'm like, damn, no, I didn't try that one. Then I try and go find it. You can't. It's impossible, right?
Yes.
You can't travel the country and get all these.
Yeah.
And Mike's Beer Bar does a great job of getting a lot of them, and he's gotten more over the last years. But this year, I brought my journal. I was like, because I keep a beer journal. I'm not kind of, I'm that girl.
We know.
Yeah. I have my beer journal with me, and I did a great job this year, man. I was writing down what it was, where it was at, writing down my notes, and I probably had like 20, 25 entries in my beer journal. So I can pop it open and go through some of the winners. Or I think they all were. I didn't have a bad beer this year.
Yeah, we did 2 trips to Pittsburgh in 2024.
Yeah.
3 stops at Mike's Beer Bar.
Yeah. So and his food.
He's
If you ever had his food?
Oh yeah.
You ever had the meat on the stone?
Let's steak on a stone.
Oh, of course, you lived there. What am I talking about?
Yeah.
That shit right there.
Oh yeah.
When we came in July to do the collab with Helicon, and we
started and closed our trip at Mike's Beer Bar.
And Mike is so fucking nice though. That
He's
dude,
such a nice
he,
guy.
he came on the
He
podcast.
came on the show, yeah.
Now that dude has a fucking story. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That dude's a
I
world
don't
traveler.
know his story.
Oh, it's been-
I'll go look for
Yeah,
the podcast.
Yeah, he's a world traveler.
Yeah,
Oh
spent
my
most
God.
of his most of his professional life overseas.
Yeah.
So him, myself, Mike, and Donnie from Alter Genius, we're all Duquesne University alumni. So we all went to the same college.
Oh, no
so
shit.
Wow.
That's our relationship there. So we do have a great relationship with him. He supports Ultra Genius, fervently.
He
which is
supports
wonderful.
craft beer. He's fucking, they're
Yeah,
fucking dope.
he is
Yeah.
a great dude.
Yeah,
Great dude.
he's just a really nice guy.
Hey, Nigel.
Yes, sir.
Mystery,
What is wrong with your thing? It's like it's not working correct. It's not very loud.
Oh,
Oh, what? But Nigel wants it louder.
mystery,
There we go.
beer.
He's so judgy.
No, I'm just saying for the
So
people. Here,
judgy.
grab that.
So judgy.
I'm gonna go grab something.
Go
too.
for it.
Hold on.
Drink amongst yourselves.
So verklempt.
Look at Bucky there in the background.
Yeah, Bucky the.
Bucky, he's side-eyeing me.
I feel bad that this isn't beer that I'm grabbing.
It's
but-
okay. We're just happy you're here.
Well, look, save your drinking for 3:25.
Listen,
Central Time.
well, that's what the Miller Lights are for. So
Oh, you got a fancy glass.
You know, look, I can't eat wings today. That's the rule.
You hear this shit?
I can't eat wings
Guys,
today.
I ain't never heard that shit before.
listen, that is not a rule. Is that a thing there?
I can't eat wings today.
You guys probably eat your wings with ranch anyways.
My son does. It's very disappointing.
Day.
I mean, seriously. Why you need ranch if the wings
work,
are bad?
I work at a couple of breweries, and one of the breweries has wings.
Uh-huh.
Ranch. White people.
Oh, hell
White people
no.
barbecue sauce.
Oh, no.
Not
It's
for
true.
me.
Oh, no.
It's
That's a white people thing.
It's true. It's true.
It is. If you're not eating wings with blue cheese, man,
You know what? Heard. I
Look,
fucks with blue cheese. Something with some flavor.
I love
cheese.
some blue cheese, but damn it, if the wings are good, I'm not dipping it in anything.
I mean, heard.
Can you guys ask me what I'm drinking?
What are you
Yeah,
drinking?
yeah, what are you drinking? I saw that glass though. Is that some
so
Grand Marnier or
this
some shit?
is-
Okay.
No, this is pumpkin spice martini from TLC. You guys,
Hell no. Pumpkin
you
spice
guys-
martini?
yeah, you guys remember Erica Turner with the TLC libations?
I do not.
She's the first black distiller in Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
She did her collaboration with Disobedient. I wish I remember who she did her collaboration with, but she did river water in a can for Barrel and Flow. The river water, it's like a ranch water, the tequila soda spritzer, but hers was watermelon. It was
I
a
don't-
watermelon like
yeah, I didn't
seltzer.
know
That was this year?
It was in this year. It was probably one of my favorite.
Yeah,
I
totally
missed that one.
Totally. missed
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Shit, I just
What happened?
Yeah, that was a good one. Mike's beer bar picked that one up
That
too.
hit my screen.
Oh, he just shot some beer on the screen. That was a good open crack sound, though.
That was an active.
I know that's
This
a
is,
Vine Street Brewing beer.
This is Vine Street, Obscura Fortuna.
Oh, that's the what is that?
I'm looking.
Shout out to Brian.
Get spellbound. Imperial Tropical Stout invites you into a world of mystery with dark roasted malt flavors, toasted coconut, molasses, orange peel, and basil.
Wow.
I just like the way they throw basil in at the end.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait a minute. Imperial Tropical Stout.
Yeah.
That's new. That's new for me.
I
Imperial
don't think
Tropical
I've ever
Stout.
heard of an Imperial Tropical Stout.
Oh no, I gotta look it up.
I mean, I'm gonna assume it's just a higher ABV because it's Imperial. We did a tropical stout with the Helicon. That's what we did. I'm glad to see everybody's copying us, Nick.
You know what we are? We are trendsetters here at the Beers and
No,
Nigel
Yeah, you
podcast.
are.
Dave, this is the thing.
Imperial Tropical.
So, pre-COVID, my homeboy had a brewery that's since now closed, but he would always like, hey, let's do a collab, let's do a beer. So there was one year, I think it was right before I went to other half in Brooklyn, and oat cream IPAs. Had no idea what the fuck that was, but they're all 10%. And come to find out, when you brew them, you just fucking smash it with a bunch of oats, so there's no bitterness. It's creamy.
Oh yeah,
So
it's probably just like air on the tongue on that mouthfeel.
Yeah,
Oh,
and so I came back and I'm like, let's do an oat cream IPA. He's like, what the fuck is that? So we brewed it, and it was one of those things. And back to the story about people don't like IPAs. Everybody drank that beer because it was so smooth and fruity. And so the next thing we did, somebody was talking about a tropical stout, and I'm researching tropical stout. I'm like, oh, it's a Caribbean style thing. You know what I'm saying? You don't really find it here. So we did one of those with mango, coconut, actual mangoes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he had a small system, so we could, it's kind of a pilot system or whatever. And so it was a thing. And so now the tropical stout thing, when we did our collab, let's do a tropical stout. Next thing you know, there was like 3 tropical stouts in Kansas City. I'm like, these motherfuckers is copying us.
Yeah.
But it's a good style because you don't really get too many fruited stouts.
No, you don't. Awesome.
Much less an imperial.
Give me some of the notes there. I see you smelling. Give me some of the notes.
Somebody just gave us a drum roll.
That is my dog.
That's what I figured.
Throwing his dog bowl on the ground.
He's like,
he's hungry.
Yeah, it's just empty.
Mama, give me my food.
What a little
No, you definitely get some fruit on the nose. Is that
there? You know what?
Kind of citrusy.
But there is kind of at the very end, there is that little hint of the basil.
What's the basil doing in there?
Which I know. I look, here's the thing. I can't figure out why it's there, but I kind of like it.
It's kind of got some green on the end, if you will.
It's a little earthy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a hint at the end, and it's one of those things. It's like I don't know why it's there. I'm a little confused by it, but I also like it.
It's kind of thin if you're gonna go imperial on the mouthfeel.
Okay.
Yeah, which makes me think this is going to be actually light on the ABV.
But see, because I already had some preconceptions about what the ABV was going to be from Imperial, but you're saying
same.
Not drinking. It's not drinking Imperial.
It's really not. I wouldn't guess it's an Imperial.
But it has some like bitterness on the end, kind of a little bit of hot bitterness, but also some like I said, like some green, like that basil. I've never eaten.
It hits
basil
like you get
by
that.
itself.
You get that. I have. It's good shit.
You just sit around eating basil?
Well, why not?
I mean, I love me some aromatics, but
I mean, the nose on it it's complex for sure. I mean, I can't pick.
I love basil and fruit. I love that. I just, hey, shame on me. Maybe I need to get it together with some roasted and basil character. Sure.
I don't know why it's there, but I'm glad it is.
But it's got layers.
Yeah, because after that greeny, then you get that kind of that roasty bitter.
Yeah, you get a little bit of roast, but there's nothing that really stands out, so it's balanced for sure.
I don't get a lot of the fruit on the taste.
I kind of do,
not a ton,
but it's subtle. Because I think it's one of those things where it's like when it's balanced, nothing is like overtaking one thing or the other. I'm gonna say that
I saw it earlier, so
I'm gonna just based on the taste and the mouthfeel and the thinness of it. I mean, Imperial might be a hustle word. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go like 5.8, and if it's higher than that, I'm gonna be fucking shocked. What do you think?
You're going 5.8?
Yeah, it just if you tasted
this, it can't be.
It doesn't drink like an Imperial. It just
not even close.
Okay, if we just, I'm gonna go 7.8.
Our actual retail ABV, 8.4.
Get the fuck out of here.
I know it's everything about this beer is surprising.
You would be like, there is no way it's 8.4. It's not. Wow. It's not even. It's not even. It looks the body's
really
so
thin.
light.
I was gonna say it looks really thin bodied.
I mean, look at that. You can see light through it.
I don't see any lacing. I mean, that looks
wrong.
No. There's a little bit there.
Yeah.
This is a surprising beer.
Well, good. Good on them for fucking.
Yeah.
Like I like a beer that fucks with me. Right? Like I want a little bit of weird.
A little bit of mental, like.
Yeah.
Wow, you played me. Well, case in point. So Nick and his buddies got, 12 bombers from the brewery?
Oh, yeah.
And they had a little driveway, a little set to the other night after drinking, doing their thing. I get there after I got off of work.
We cracked a third one.
They cracked, what was it called? Black Rain?
Chocolate Rain.
Chocolate Rain. Tasty. The next day.
Incredible.
The next day, I'm like, I know I had a couple of old fashions, but I'm like, why am I feeling like this? I had taken a picture of it. The shit was like 19.2%.
Oh, stop.
I'm like,
yeah. So 4 of us went in on this.
That's liquor.
The brewery thing, and we got 12 bombers from the brewery shipped to us.
And so they violated a rule that they and Ed have. If it's over 9%, you're supposed to tell somebody.
That's a bullshit
rule.
That's a bullshit.
She's agreeing with me.
No, it's a bullshit rule.
You should let me know.
No, you don't agree with that rule either.
Can you hear me that, Stella?
But then again, I
just heard her ask for a Stella.
Ain't nothing wrong with a Stella.
No.
That was ain't nothing wrong with a Stella.
I can't hide nothing from y'all on this podcast. Damn.
Well, you're on video and you said it out loud. You didn't even mute yourself, girl.
You said it into the mic. I mean,
no. When I lived in L.A., you could get a case of Stellas, the bottles, for like $14. That was my shit. I love Stella because I'm talking about 2000. Shit, when did I move to LA? 2003. So there were no breweries in LA. Zero. You could barely find a beer bar.
I used to work with a dude in his marketing company. He kept coolers of beer in his office for shit.
Yeah.
But it's one side was all Stella. That was his thing.
Ain't nothing wrong with a Stella.
No, it was great.
See, and that's crazy. I moved to Pittsburgh in 2004, and we were drinking, like the Trogs and Full Pint and things like that, like Chinook. Shout out to them. They were like the OG like craft guys back then. I mean, we've had craft beer here for a long.
No, you guys are way more well versed than us. And that's why when I came in 2019 to Pittsburgh, I was like, holy shit, there's a lot of breweries here. Mm-hmm. And we're talking 5 years ago. We may have, if you count the outlying areas of Kansas City, maybe 60, maybe.
Yeah.
Kansas City proper, probably 35, 40.
I want to say we're still leading the country in microbrews. I want to say the Pittsburgh area.
Well, you guys have the benefit.
Last time I checked.
You guys have the benefit, which we love, is, they might have a production facility and a tap room, but you might have another tap room in some neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So what was that one we went to? We were like, was that your first year? We ended up getting in some strangers' cars. We just met at the brewery.
It's happened a few years.
Yeah,
it's fine.
They took us all around. It was fucking,
we love Pittsburgh people.
Great.
We love our Pittsburgh people.
Yeah.
Everybody's so nice. If you're like, oh, I like craft beer, they're like, come with me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We hopped in their car. We hit some breweries.
Yeah.
There's a rum distillery somewhere in some neighborhood. I don't know.
What was it called? It has a number in the name.
314.
I don't know.
It's 312?
No, it's not 312.
What's your area code out there?
412.
That's it.
It was 412.
Yeah.
It's
closed now, I think. Because we tried to go there.
Yeah, it wasn't far from Heinz Field.
No, okay. We had some scooter issues.
Okay.
Well, the scooters in Pittsburgh were different.
The rent-a-scooter thing?
Yeah. They were different. They were different than the ones in Kansas City.
Well, first off, 2 old dum-dums couldn't figure out how to start them.
No.
No, come on, be honest.
The scooters here, all you do is do this.
Be honest. It took us 15 minutes to figure out how to go.
Well, no, we didn't figure out. We had somebody stop. Be like, you got to kickstart it.
We're sitting there pushing buttons, trying to turn the handle.
We were like, and then we got to that neighborhood, and the motherfuckers wouldn't turn off. And come to find out, you can't park it in a neighborhood. You got to park it
in a zone. You have to park in a parking zone.
You have to find the station.
That's actually fucking smart because here in Kansas City, them scooters be everywhere.
Oh, they're everywhere.
Or if you go to Nashville, everywhere. They have trucks that'll drive around every morning to pick them up, find them, pick them up, and take them back to stations. It's hilarious.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. No, we upped a car. We hit 3-4 breweries with them, and there's a rum distillery hidden somewhere in a neighborhood that was really fucking good.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of a neighborhood. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
If there's a housing plan, people are like, that looks like the perfect spot.
So how would you describe the Pittsburgh beer scene? If somebody uninitiated asked you, what would you say about the Pittsburgh beer scene?
Dude, I mean, I don't. I don't know what you mean by that. Like, what would I say? Because like I'm super super fortunate and proud to be like in this area. There is something for everybody at every single brewery. There are some people who are like way out there. Well, shout out to like Strange Roots who are doing some just funky shit across the board. Then we got people who are super popular who do 15 different variations of the same damn IPA, and they're super popular. But probably more heavy on the IPA side here. There's a lot of Saison Love that I see up and coming. A lot of Saison Love, which I'm a fan of. But I don't know. I think you just got to experience it. A lot of smaller 10 barrel and 7 barrel brew houses that are more flexible, which is cool because everybody can kind of can pilot out some creativity. I don't know what I would explain it to people.
That's a good explanation, though. I think the Pittsburgh beer scene is, as much as we hop around, they're all have their own vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody's got their and the pressure to be good and the pressure to be different is driving the movement.
I'd say
do you feel that pressure a lot? That like the beers you guys make have to be different, have to stand out?
Yeah. We're so saturated. Some people look at it as a negative thing. Some people see it as a positive because of the competition. But we're highly saturated, right? You could in any given neighborhood walk 10 blocks and find another brewery.
Do you think you drive business to each other?
Oh yeah, for the most part, all of the breweries are super super supportive with each other. We do a lot of collaborations. We see all the same people at the beer fest. We want to work together. We ask each other questions. We figure things out together. I mean, it's wonderful, and it's really elevating the scene. It is elevating the scene, right? If something's not quite right, or you can't quite figure it out, or you're just getting started, a lot of people are like, "Hey, I was there 4 years ago. Let me come in with you. I'll do a collaboration with you." Yeah. I mean, we have a half a dozen collaborations on the book in any given year, and counting and climbing.
It's
really incredible.
Yeah, I really liken the Kansas City beer scene to Pittsburgh. It's kind of similar to me. We don't have all the neighborhood shits, which I would love, but I think just talking to people that we've talked to in Pittsburgh, it's funny. Like one of my favorite stories is what's his name from Burgers.
Neil.
Yeah. So we have this video from 2021, and we were giving out our stickers. And I still have this video, and of course, when they've got their keezer, their whole thing where they pour from, and this video, him slapping it on the keezer, and we're talking 2021. It's 2024. We get there, and he's like, "Nigga, Nigel," and the sticker is still on there,
and he's got a little arrow.
Yeah, and he's got arrows pointed at it. It's this fucking
dude. And Neil just won like first or second place out at the
GABF.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Dude.
He was fucking great.
That's a good place too.
And so I'm glad this year we got to catch, because a lot of the crew on Sundays after Burn and Flow, they all go to Burgers. Mm-hmm. And so there was like 40 of us.
40, 50 of us.
All at Burgers, man, just crashing the whole place. There's that photo that I don't know where it's out there somewhere, but
I saw that. Oh, I saw the big one outside of Mike's. That Fizzle.
Nigel missed that.
I missed that.
Oh, that's a shame.
Nigel was indisposed.
Yeah, I was pooping. Let's keep it real.
I was being nice.
Nah, I'm gonna keep it real. I was pooping. I wasn't. For some reason, I was not well that particular day.
He caught a little bug that day.
And I didn't make it through the whole day, because we always do a Sunday fun day where we brewery hop and do all the things. About 5 o'clock, I told Nick, I'm about to Irish goodbye at this bitch. And I went and I went back to Airbnb and got in bed like at 6 p.m. I was not right.
Yeah, we always do it. We stay an extra day in Pittsburgh for our walkabout day.
Yeah.
We haven't hit Alter Genius yet.
We have not.
Oh my God.
So 25. We're hitting it.
We'll make that a
and
point.
We have a second tap room too, which is right by the airport. So that'll be super, super convenient. It can be your first stop in and your last stop out.
We'll get Baby Driver to come get us.
We'll get Baby Driver.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Have you ever ridden with Dave Bracey as the driver?
No.
Oh, you are in for something.
He picked us up from the airport on our collab.
Dude,
You ever seen the movie Baby Driver?
Yes.
That's him.
That's Dave.
That's Dave. All the time.
Music blasting, whipping around traffic.
You might die, but it's okay.
His speed range was from 40 to 110.
Oh,
Shout out to Dave.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yes,
That's
indeed.
awesome. Yeah.
Well, it's been great to have you on. This is
Guys, thank you.
yeah.
This is so fun.
See, and it worked out fine. You said you were nervous. It was fine. We didn't ask you any super hard questions.
I told Nick. I told Nigel. I was like, I'm not that interesting. Yeah.
And by the way, that's a lie. That's bullshit.
Yeah. And we
We've
didn't
never
even,
had a former ballerina turned brewer.
and we didn't even delve into all the things. Let's keep it real.
No,
we
there's
we
no-
didn't get to mixology.
We're gonna get part 2 during Barrel and Flow next year.
Let's do that. We'll do
We'll
part
say some
2.
for the future, but hold on for a second. I got to put one more thing on before we
Well, anything's better than that. Anything's better than that jersey.
part ways.
She's
getting the hat.
She just wants to fuck with you.
Oh, she's getting the hat. Damn it.
You know, that's what you get when you wear. Did you wear that on purpose?
Yes.
Did you know that she was?
No, this is a Sunday uniform.
Well,
I'm superstitious.
are you?
Last time I didn't wear this, they lost.
Ooh, what if they lose?
Fuck, God damn it. Don't put that in the ether.
I don't.
Go
I don't
outside,
give a
turn
fuck.
around and spit.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't care.
All right, time for me to go.
Oh.
All right, hey, wait a minute. Are you going to climb on top of that furniture behind you and then jump and smash your desk?
Yeah, I put this on when I jump into my tables after the victory tonight. So I gotta wear a hard hat.
So
You know what? I would love to experience a Buffalo tailgate sometime.
yeah.
Oh, it is like
One of my best
Probably
friends
one
from
of the
college
best
is from
tailgates in the
Buffalo,
world.
so I used to always give him some shit too.
So, Dave, are you familiar with Thin Man Brewing?
no, I'm not.
It's in Buffalo.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
so-
I'm gonna have to find it. I love Resurgence and
Yeah.
Big Ditch.
Yeah. So they
And a lot of
did.
the
I think it
Pearl
was.
Street Brewery.
Yeah, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 years ago. They did a bet with one of the breweries I work at, Diametric, and so I think it was. I don't know. I think Buffalo ended up losing, and so the Thin Man guys all came to Kansas City to do a collab. It was fucking great. It was fucking great.
I hope that bet's still going on. That's awesome. Now I'll have to find them and follow them.
No,
That's awesome.
they were really great guys. They do some really great beers. So if you've, how often do you get back to Buffalo?
Only the holidays
Yeah.
and I go and see those guys, the Easter and Christmas pretty
Yeah.
much, unfortunately. But my nieces are getting older, they're older, they're busy with their lives now. So nobody has a lot of time for Aunt Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if people want to follow you on the socials, do you allow that? Do you want that? Or
Yeah, sure. I would love that.
tell them where.
Sure. I'm on Instagram. It's Meat X Malt. So
Meat X
Yeah.
Malt. Is that meat? Is that meat times malt?
yes, meat times malt. And I think those are just the two things that describe me the best. I'm always kind of posting cooking videos and harvesting, my food. There's a lot of people, especially in the Black community, who are so interested in hunting, foraging, and then the beer side of it. So those are my two big things.
I could. Do you ever do like some stuff you've harvested and brewed and do like a dinner? You ever do that?
Yes,
Ooh.
all the time.
Really?
All the time.
Oh,
So
you need to let us know. I'll come to Pittsburgh for that.
That's booking
all
our
the
next
time.
flight.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, so that's-
if we win, she comes and does it here.
Well, if we win, what?
Oh!
Are we still? Are you making a bet right now?
Is this a bet? Hold on. Let me write all this down.
The problem is I have nothing of equal value to offer in return.
So I did. It's funny. So what I've been really into the last couple years is figuring out the best ways to incorporate, malted beverages in my cooking, in my preservation, and then pairing too. So I do a lot of roast and things like that, which is like, I guess on the most I don't want to say like easy access, but introductory style, right?
Yeah.
Like, any kind of beer in your brines,
Right.
or in your, cooking process, but then also pairing too. So I've literally just started this a couple pages into the best, one beer, you got one beer and you got one kind of meat. How do we elevate this dish?
Okay.
In this
I
meal?
love that
From
challenge.
Yeah.
From beginning to end. So
I love that challenge.
I've
That's
been
a good
coming up with
challenge.
some pretty cool stuff, some pretty funky stuff. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome. I'm trying to think of what I could offer as my end of a bet. but
Yeah,
I got- but I
so
got
like
nothing.
if Nigel, can you referee this real quick? Because so
Problem is I got
when
nothing of value to offer.
so when Buffalo wins tonight,
Oh.
what is Nick going to do?
What am I putting on the line, Nigel?
What are you shipping me
if
beer?
If Buffalo
Are
wins its
you-
version of a Super Bowl today,
Wow. I mean, you could probably send her some Kansas City barbecue.
I'll send you some KCQ.
I mean, Jack Stack ships.
Yeah,
They sure do.
they do. My brother moved to Colorado. I've sent him care packages.
So,
I will if I lose, which I won't even think too hard about this because that's not going to happen. But
See, you're a different kind of fan. I expect the worst.
I am working on like a beer brine jerky right now.
ooh.
So if you're down with some jerky,
Oh, yeah.
we have we call it the Red Hot Chili Porter.
Okay.
That's our beer at Ultra Genius right now. And I'm going to do a Red Hot Chili Porter brine on some deer jerky. I'll get that all dried up, smoked, and I'll ship that out to you.
I tell you what, let's make this fair.
Okay.
Because I'm not out. This is opening weekend for Firearm out here.
Okay.
So I'm not out. I'm obviously not sitting in a tree right now. But my in-laws all are.
Okay.
So I will, and I might have to help you with, I might have to call for some help, but I will do with a KC beer.
Okay.
I will do jerky and send that.
Okay.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a good little bet right there.
How's that?
That's a good.
How's
that?
that?
Sounds great.
So
That
I'm gonna
sounds great.
I'm gonna text my brothers-in-law next and be like, "Hey, you better get one."
My shit's on the line. My ass is on the line.
That's right. And you know what? I'm gonna talk all big shit the
Hey,
whole time too.
whatever happens for your all bet, that's fine.
Oh,
My shit didn't stop.
Oh, Nigel. Nigel's camera's gone.
Oh, it died.
He's still there. It's
Anyway,
fine.
whatever happens,
I'll do a stick figure drawing.
I won't send that jerky. I'll send you some. We call it Wee Bit Fancy. It's the French saison. I'll send you that French
I'm
saison.
telling you,
Wee Bit Fancy.
that is,
Why does it say it's still recording?
It's my
But
favorite.
that's your recording.
yeah, that's one of my.
We're gonna have
If
to work
not
that.
top three, if it's not my favorite beer of KC, it's at least top three.
Yeah. It's a good
I
one.
love that saison.
Wow, I cannot wait, Nigel. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I'll send you
would
some.
Love to,
Yeah,
love to try that.
just text me your address. I'll send you some before the jerky happens. It's all good. Because we just started canning it in 4-packs, so
Awesome.
I'll make that happen. Nick, where can they find us?
You can find us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, any of your favorite podcast apps. You can even find us on the Facebooks, Nigel, on the Instagrams.
On the grams.
Not the TikTok, because we old and stupid, and we don't know how to do that.
I just got into TikTok for
Did
the
you?
brewery. For the brewery, we're doing TikToks now.
Oh.
I do.
Nigel's acting like a young kid.
No, well, I do all the socials for the brewery I work at, and so now we're into TikTok. Thanks. Shout out to Full Pour Media, our marketing company, who says we should be on TikTok, and we are.
Good. I'm glad you're on TikTok. Yeah.
But if you want to see, look, we're funnier if you watch us on video. At least I'm funnier looking. So there we go. That's it.
Don't
What
hang
else?
up.
Oh yeah, don't hang up. Stick around for a second. We got more.
You've been listening to Beers with Nigel, a show about beer and other stuff, hosted by Nigel Woodbury and that other guy, Nick Parker. Beers with Nigel is poured for you by Dire Oil Graphics, providing bumper-to-bumper graphic design, promo products, and print services. Find them at direoil.com. Beers with Nigel is a proud member of the Fredcast Network, and is available on all of your favorite podcast flavors. Find Beers with Nigel on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and ask Alexa to play the Beers with Nigel podcast.